Welcome to the basement.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Boys Podcast. I am Chris Gray. That is Eric Minter. We got Devin Mitchell right up here, and we still got Mike Kraft on the boards today. So let's jump into it.
NFL news. J.J. Watt is an Arizona Cardinal.
Fucking out of left field.
That was a wild card.
Ha ha ha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Motherfucking dark horse. The fucking Arizona Cardinals came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no one even had like a fucking idea that this might be a thing.
What did he get? 2
Okay.
years, 23 guarantee, 31 mil in total?
Yep.
God damn.
Yeah, at his age, fucking go JJ.
Is that, yeah. I mean, I like what he did. He tweeted it himself. Source at JJ Watt at me. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He just wanted to get out in front of it. Good for him.
Yeah, why give it to like Schefter or whatever? Just like, why don't you just load up your own Twitter?
So I think the big question, does Desean Watson now join JJ and D-Hop in Arizona?
No, they have
No.
Kyler Murray.
I know, but it's a reunion. You got the two of the best players from a couple of years ago when the Texans were good. Does this make the Cardinals better?
Are you kidding? Chandler
them so
Jones
much
on
better.
one side, Chandler Jones on one side, JJ Watt on the other.
Better than
Yo.
the other teams in the NFC West.
It's
No. Not better. Like,
yeah.
their offense still needs help. Defense, they might be right up there with, like, the Rams and the Niners if they're healthy. But offensively, they're going to be still
don't-
behind.
I don't think either of their ends match up to Aaron Donald, but having Chandler Jones on one side and JJ Watt on the other, I know they're both getting a little more up there and stuff like that, but still, man, that is
I know. And then you look at the Niners who have Bosa. They have Fred Warner. I mean, there's a lot of good defenses in that division.
I know they're going to get their defenses back and their defense is going to be stacked next year, but I don't really count on the 49ers until they figure out this Jimmy Garoppolo situation. So I would say this puts them above them.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be them and the Rams.
Really.
I think Seattle's going to take a big step back, especially if they can't get this thing worked out with Russell.
Well, I think that's the next topic versus Russell. But going back to JJ Watt, what do we think all these other teams that missed out on JJ Watt do now? Because there was rumors of him going to the Browns. What do the Browns do now? There's the Bills, obviously, we were talking about, and now, like,
They take that. I think they take that money and they're gonna invest it and like look at the Bills, for example. Josh Allen's gonna get paid. Stephon Diggs gonna get paid. Boom, taken care of. Browns.
Diggs already got paid.
Yeah, Diggs is
Did he?
already.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Josh Allen's gonna get his payday, and then the Browns. Mayfield's probably gonna get paid. Chubb's gonna get paid. Denzel Ward's probably gonna get a little money. So like that money that would go to JJ is going to the homegrown players.
Do you think everyone's just going to keep it in-house?
Not everyone. Like I could see Green Bay trying to make some moves elsewhere. Possibly going to get another receiver like Aaron Rodgers has been asking
No,
for.
they won't do that. Come on now.
Nah, I think if anything, Green Bay's got to invest in the defense a little bit.
Yeah. I think the Browns will be okay because they still have Myles Garrett. They still have someone who can get pressure on the quarterback.
Dude, Myles Garrett this morning posted a video, box jumping 58 inches.
Fuck.
God damn.
That's like,
Yo, he's a monster.
that's almost 5 feet.
And yeah, and he's what, like fucking 275 somewhere in that
at
range?
least. He's not a human.
Yeah,
It's
like-
for real. Just,
Eric, how
So-
tall are you?
that's not important right now.
Can Myles Garrett clear you?
Not yet. But I honestly think give him like another year, probably.
Yeah, so I think the Browns will be fine. I think if they got J.J. Watt, that would just be fucking unbelievable. But like, I think they'll be fine. I think the Bills really need to figure out someone on the edge, someone to really like give quarterback something to look at. Green Bay also think they should do that. There's rumors of him going to Tampa, but there's just rumors that every older player goes to Tampa.
Yeah, but I think regardless of J.J. Watt signing with the Cardinals, as good as they might be, Cliff Kingsbury is still a fraud, and they'll still go 9-7 at the absolute best. That's This is where we are.
Dude, just your fucking feud with Cliff Kingsbury, just it's good for my soul. Like, I don't know
Natalie,
why.
do
I
you
like
agree with that?
Cliff
Yeah.
Kingsbury.
Natalie's on my side. She's like, Cliff should have kicked the extra point after the Hail Mary. Whatever.
So the Myles Garrett thing, according to Google, he weighs 271.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, pretty close. Good for me.
It's like that game at the Carnival. Step right up, I can guess your weight.
Yeah, right? I think they only have to be within like 4 or 5 pounds, so I think I might have won. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I think Myles Garrett owes you a Lamborghini at this point. That's
Yeah,
how,
right?
That's how that,
Yeah,
how that works.
I think that's like federal U.S. law.
I think that's how it works.
Oh, I thought we were going prices right. As long as you didn't go over and you were the closest, you won.
Well, I went over.
Well-
Fuck.
Wah, wah, wah. Natalie is very upset that you went over.
I love you. Don't hate me.
Hey, it's
What
okay.
you're really
It's
saying
okay.
is Myles Garrett needs to be a man and put on 4 pounds.
I would never say that to Myles Garrett.
I heard it.
I've seen what he does to white guys who talk shit.
Oh, that was before your time, Natalie.
Jeez,
It's
that's
okay.
weird.
It's okay. Hold on, I'll be right back. Keep going.
Oh God.
Pretty much everything is
What's the
before
matter?
Natalie's time.
Right? How crazy is that? Dude, Dad's such a good dad. Let's just take a moment. Yeah, but I'm really excited for that Cardinals defense. Just going back to the whole JJ Watt thing, because like I said, I will never be able to get over Chandler Jones on one side and JJ Watt on the other.
Since Chandler Jones has came into the league in 2012, they are 1-2 in the most sacks in the NFL. The
Hey.
Cardinals last year were tied for the 4th most sacks in the NFL, and that's with Jones missing half the year,
Yeah.
more than half. So,
Fun fact: Chandler Jones is former UFC light heavyweight champion John Jones' brother. If you didn't know.
yeah. And which one would you rather be?
Chandler probably makes more.
Yeah, but John Bones Jones is nuts.
Yeah, but he's also gotten into a lot of trouble with that.
part of the game when you're nuts. Anyways, I think this all kind of ties together with the other story because in the NFC West, you now have the Cardinals with this great defensive line with Chandler
Yep.
Jones and J.J. Watt. The Aaron Donald-led defense of the Rams, where you have Jalen Ramsey, you have Malcolm Floyd. That's not his name, is it? Malcolm Floyd? No, I don't know who I'm thinking of.
I don't.
The Rams have a great defense. And then you have the 49ers who had a very injury-plagued year, but they're going to have Bosa coming back. They're going to have Fred Warner. They have a lot of talented just all over that defense.
And then you have Russ.
And then you have Russ.
With the Kevin Hart meme. Help me!
That's what he said.
Help me!
So we're at the point where he's saying he doesn't want to be traded, but if he did, he's got 4 teams he wants to go to.
He'd do.
This is
He'd
the
do.
this is the classic football O.J. Simpson. If I did it, like, yeah, we know what you're saying without saying it.
Bro, you released a book like that. Oh my God, sorry.
Actually, O.J. didn't release that book. That was Ron Goldman's family.
No,
that
he
released
tried
that book.
to. No, he tried to release that book, and then they found out he was doing it, and they were just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Civil trial.
Hey,
That
but-
comes to us."
Okay. So that's O.J. talk. But Russell Wilson's saying that he wants a better offensive line, which is fair because he's been sacked the most out of anybody in the last couple of years. Like, he's getting hit. If you watch the playoff game against the Rams, that was clearly the problem is he didn't have any time to throw. So now the defenses in his division are just getting better.
Bro, like, it's not even like they're like, oh, they're picking up a nice little improvement here, a nice little improvement there. No, over the past like 3-4 years, every front seven on all 3 of the other teams has just gotten ridiculous.
Do you think Russell Wilson's going to actually leave the Seahawks this offseason?
If he wants to live. Like, I don't mean to be mean, but that's 6 games where you're just going to have killers and no offensive line. Unless they make some big changes to that offensive line, like...
So, let's do, like, percentage-wise, what are the chances? Like, 0 to 100, how likely do you think he actually gets moved?
Right now, I think he wants to work it out. So I'll say like 65 maybe. Just because I know
65% that he stays or leaves.
leaves.
Wow.
Because I think he
I'd
wants
put
to
it lower
work
than
it.
that. I'd say it's like 40% that he gets moved. Because I think you're right. I think he wants to stay in Seattle. I think he loves having DK Metcalf because who wouldn't love having DK Metcalf? I think
And still Tyler Lockett.
It's Tyler Lockett, even though DK is the fun young new toy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. I think Russ just likes having the legacy of like being with the one franchise, being the one the one player you associate with the Seahawks. Like,
Right.
I think he's gonna do whatever he can to make it work. But there's a chance that we see it happening more and more where big name players get moved.
But if they don't invest into that line, he's a smart guy. He said, I've taken the LeBron James route. I invest millions of dollars into his body. Like, why are you going to waste that investment because this team won't fucking do anything?
Yeah.
Come here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Dev's tried so hard to be in these episodes.
Natalie just doesn't like the idea of Wilson playing for a different team.
Right? She's a huge Seahawks fan right now. Dev's gonna convert her, but like she came out and just like, yo, Russ is my guy.
Russ is the guy.
Apparently, Wilson doesn't like Pete Carroll's nepotism. If you're Seattle, keep Pete or Russ.
So he makes the point. Russ is saying that he doesn't like that Pete Carroll's sons are involved with the offensive game plan or offensive line. Doesn't think that they really know what they're doing. So if you're Seattle, do you go with the franchise quarterback or the coach who's brought you to 2 Super Bowls?
I'm going with Russ. Russ all day. Like I feel like he's a once in generational talent. When you have your franchise quarterback, you do everything in your power to keep him. And sorry Pete Carroll, but gotta go back to college or go to another team. But you won't be coaching Seattle much longer.
My part of me that doesn't really like Pete Carroll is just like, yeah, go Russ. But my objective football brain is like, Russ is getting up there. All these hits he has been taking, the reason he's so mad has taken a toll on him. You were even saying, like, he was sneaky slow in the playoffs.
Sneaky slow as shit.
Like, he's not the same guy he was back on the Super Bowl run. Not that he's not still an excellent quarterback, but he's trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I think you will get more out of Steve Carroll if you still kind of believe in him than you will Russ. Pete, sorry.
How long has Russ been in the league?
At least, he was the same year as Luck and Griffin and RG3 when they went. So he's got to be.
Oh, that's right.
This is going to be 9 years for him.
Something
wow.
Like that. Yeah, he's.
See, I think the problem that here is like what both of you said is right, where Russ is so special right now that it's hard to want to move on from him because realistically, unless you're trading him for Patrick Mahomes or Brady or Rodgers, you're gonna be downgrading. But at the same time, like what Chris is saying is that in 3 years from now, will he still be at that level, and will Pete Carroll still be a top tier coach?
Right.
Russ Wilson came into the league at 2012.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he could pull like an Aaron Rodgers and like have a resurgence in his like second half of his career.
I think he's trying to do what Aaron Rodgers did by saying, like when Aaron Rodgers came into camp all pissed off that they drafted another quarterback and tried to like light a fire under his team. I think that's what Russ is really doing right now because I don't think he really wants out. I think it's just to try to like make the owners and GM make moves to make the team better. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go with Russ. I just think right now, if you had a different coach in there, maybe things would be a little bit different. But with a passing league, Russ is just too good of a quarterback to pass up on, pun intended.
Yeah, but I do think without that, if they don't make some serious changes to that line, whether Russell stays or not, you might get into the playoffs, but you're not making a run.
That's exactly what's happened the last like 2 or 3 years is they get to the first round and just bounce.
Yeah, so
something's got to change.
Something's got to change. They could keep both of them. Maybe they can work it out with the Suns, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't care about all that. But as it starts in the trenches, everyone always says it, And if you got no trench, you're out in the open, my guy.
There
Like,
you go. If Russ were to move, Mike, what are the 4 teams he's talking about going to?
We got the Cowboys, the Saints, the Bears, and the Raiders.
why the Cowboys? This is the question I've been asking myself all week.
I think it's
Why
just marketing because Cowboys were or might still be quote unquote America's team. They're
Fuck
on
you.
allegedly. Look, they got a national game every week. No matter how bad they're playing, they're still on prime time. You know, the 4:00 game on Fox when they have to go up against no one else. You get a lot of marketability, and plus Jerry Jones, he got a big ass stadium, 100,000. I think he can fit in there.
Yeah, I don't know if the stadium's the selling point for. I think with both the Cowboys and the Raiders, I think a lot of people were kind of like, why? Even the Bears. I don't understand the Bears, but like, think about when the Cowboys have everybody healthy. That offensive line has 3 Pro Bowlers, and he has Ezekiel Elliott, so he doesn't have to worry about running. I think that's why he wants to go to the Raiders because they have a great offensive line. I think he just wants to be protected.
No, yeah, I understand the Raiders because their offensive line is great. The Cowboys' offensive line was great
Is great.
like 2 years ago.
I'm going
When
with
they
Chris
were
on this one.
healthy. Everybody was hurt. How are they going to be good?
But
Yeah,
they've also lost some people due to retirement.
retirements. They've
Trades.
like not even the trades. Like this constantly getting hurt. It's not going to get better as these guys get older, and it's
Yeah.
not going to make them the same level they are. I don't know if they can get through the whole season.
I
healthy.
still think what's his name? Tyron Smith, Zach Martin are still Pro Bowlers. You then throw in the fact that you can have Ezekiel Elliott, who's better than any running back since Marshawn Lynch that Russell's played with. He's going to have CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. There's some weapons out there. I could see it making sense. The only question, if he went to the Cowboys, would the Cowboys do a straight-up swap Dak for Russ?
You have to. Like, you can't keep both of them on the same team. That's just stupid.
Well, no, obviously, but I'm saying, like, do they sign Dak and then make the trade, or do they let Dak walk and try to figure something else out? Because if they sign Dak, then they're going to have to pay Dak.
Right.
Well,
Didn't they just sign
isn't he
Dak last
technically a
year?
free agent right now?
Yeah. Well, I think they're franchising him again.
That's what I'm saying, is he's a free agent at the moment, so either they franchise him where there's some guaranteed money,
Mhm.
but then they swap him for Russ. So they upgrade the quarterback, but they still have to pay a little more. Does that make sense for them to do? Should they just sign Dak? Surprise everybody, trade Dak for Desean Watson.
But honestly, like, why would the Cowboys even do that? Before he got hurt last year, Dak was having an amazing year, and I understand he had a very serious injury. But if I'm the Seahawks, I'm not just doing a 1-for-1 swap with that injury, even though he was having a good year. And if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not giving up what could be the Dak we saw at the beginning of the year, plus more assets. You know what I mean? To get Russ.
Yeah.
I would, if I'm them, I just franchise him again this year. Like, I'm thinking business mindset. I want Dak to get paid. I think he deserves it. I think it's bullshit that they keep franchise tagging him. But if I'm Jerry Jones and I'm an asshole, I'm franchising him again this year so he has a prove-it year.
The only problem with that
Another
is
prove-it year.
what happens if Dak plays under the franchise tag this year and then next year walks? Then you have no quarterback. You're starting over. You
Look
know?
at Washington, though. Like, that's what happened with Kirk Cousins. They franchised him like 2 or 3 times. Left to Minnesota, got paid. Like, I think what was it, 84
Something
million
something way
guaranteed.
too much for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
But who's Washington's quarterback right now?
not Alex Smith, because they unfortunately, I think, are parting ways with him.
But that's what I'm saying is they did the franchise tag move to Kirk Cousins and then he walked out and now they have the void at quarterback.
Well, they thought they had their quarterback.
Yeah, to be fair, they made all the right moves to do that. Just Dwayne Haskins is an asshole.
Yeah, well, that happens. Next on the list, though, like the Bears, I don't understand why he'd want to go to the Bears because the Bears don't really have an offensive line. I think he just likes the city of Chicago.
I think they have a better offensive line than Seattle, and I think just that defensive sick. If they can even remotely get it going on offense.
Also, the Bears have Allen Robinson
Yeah.
as a free agent. So if he sees Russ coming to town, yeah, he's going to want to sign.
Right.
But if they can't afford him because another team scoops him, I don't see why Russ would want to go there.
Also, I feel like if you're Chicago, you need another receiver and a running back.
for
Like
sure.
I feel like you need a lot of help.
I think Montgomery's going to cover it for running back, but they definitely need receivers. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but Montgomery, when he came into the league, it was almost like the Clyde Edwards-Helaire effect. You know what I mean? When he came into the league, everyone was hyping him up, and then he just has been kind of underperforming. Like, I'm not sure if I'm as sold on him as
Montgomery was do you guys remember the second half of the year? He was the top fantasy running back. He went nuts the second half of the year.
But the first half of the year, though,
Yeah.
it was kind of looking like he was going to be another bust.
But this isn't his rookie year. Like, he's had a couple of good years. They also have Tariq Cohen.
His rookie year, I had him on my fantasy team his rookie year. He did not do fucking jack shit for me.
I don't know. He went nuts this past season. They also have Tariq Cohen. I don't know. I don't think the Bears make sense for us. I think the Saints are the best option for us.
Yeah.
But I don't. They like Jameis. We don't even know if Breeze is retiring yet. You saw him pushing the sled in his the front of his house or whatever.
Yeah, and as he's doing that, more and more ribs are cracking.
But you have Jameis, you have Taysom. Like they're set at quarterback.
Right.
Who would you start if you were the Saints?
Over Jameis or Winston? I mean, Jameis or Taysom?
Or Breeze? We don't know what Breeze's situation is, so you got to pick between the three of them.
I think if Breeze comes back, they're starting him, whether they like it or not.
Fact.
But if I
Who
had to
would
pick
you
one,
start? Yeah.
I'm going with call me crazy. I'm going with Jameis.
I don't call you crazy at all.
I don't call you crazy at all because I agree with you.
Yeah, and plus, coming out after the big bomb that he threw when he came in for the one play,
One play.
Mm-hmm.
People started to get some hype on him again because they saw him make a fucking dime, and the coaching staff kind of came out and started talking about it more. They're just like, look, we see the guy, we brought him in because we saw the talent that he had for someone else. Then he got here, and we saw his work ethic. We saw his coachability. We saw everything that makes a good quarterback. So if we think we can fix the one or two little mistakes that he's made, that he's been making, this guy, we've seen the raw talent. We think we can hone it in a little bit, and he fixed his eyes.
He fixed his eyes.
Which is very important to play quarterback.
He was Jameis Squinston for a while.
How's it going? I like that one.
That's not mine. But I honestly feel bad for Jameis because think about it. He's drafted to be the leader of the Bucs. He was supposed to be their guy. They replaced him with that Tom Brady fellow and win a championship.
Yeah, but you also look. Tampa Bay was good when Jameis was there, but this Tampa team also siphoned off the fact that they got Tom Brady and were able to pick up
Brady
few
brought in other
more
pieces
key
with him.
pieces.
But
you
that's
know
what
what I mean?
I think regardless of where Russell Wilson plays this year, if he stays with Seattle, maybe not. But if he goes to another team, let's say he ends up with the Raiders, he's going to have that effect where players are going to then want to play with Russell Wilson.
Right.
So I can see that impacting any team. I think if Russ goes to the Saints, Breeze is going to retire. I guess Jameis Winston's the quarterback of the Seahawks. But they have to be in the title conversation instantly. When you have Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, always have a good offensive line. Defense, hit or miss.
I would like to see them pick up another receiver somewhere, in the draft somewhere, someone with some upside, because I feel like just Michael Thomas tries to do it all. You have Kamara out of the backfield, which is nice, but just someone else on the outside that can take some eyes off Michael Thomas, or Michael Thomas can take off them. You know what I mean? Just to give him another big weapon.
We need a full season of Michael Thomas also.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I agree with you, Chris. Saints do need another receiver. If they're lucky enough to land Wilson, awesome, but they need to find someone to help out Michael Thomas, because you saw what happened when he goes down. Everyone just focuses on Kamara, and it's okay, someone please just catch the ball.
Yeah, for real. And even like you just see it in Breeze. Like when Michael Thomas is on the field, Breeze is just like, all right, know exactly where I'm going.
Slant boy.
Whenever anyone else is on the field, you just see him like, okay, first option, second option, first option again, second option.
Okay, I know we're supposed to be talking about Russ, but
I know.
But going back to but with Breeze and replacing him with Jameis, I think would be the perfect thing to do because, like you're saying right now with Breeze, you know he's going to throw the short slant to Thomas or like a screen to Kamara. He doesn't have the arm strength, and he's very like play it safe, very predictable. Jameis is the 100% polar opposite, where he has the arm strength, and you don't know what he's going to do. Throw it deep, throw it out of bounds, throw it behind him. Who knows?
Throw it to the other team.
Throws touchdowns to both teams. But I'm saying, like, it would be so hard for a defense to be like, yes, Michael Thomas on a slant, Michael Thomas on a slant to Jameis. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I want Jameis to take over the Saints.
I honestly think it would be a good fit, and like the coaches have been saying, if they can tweak him a little bit, if his eyes help, like blah, 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 we see how athletic and how talented and just how...
The upside's there.
Yeah, it's just so much upside.
Yeah, but ultimately, I'm saying Russell's going to stay in Seattle at least this year.
Yeah, I don't see him making a move this season. He'll stay in Seattle at least one more year. See if they can get that offensive line back, and then... if not, hey, how you doing? See you later.
I think if they don't make any line changes, at least like maybe even if it's not the right changes, but just make it look like optically like, hey, we're trying to figure this out for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The opposite of what the Texans are doing with Watson.
Right. So as long as they do something like that, I think he stays. But if they're like, no, we're set. You can just all you need is a second and a half before someone hits you to get the ball out, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Just it's like when you're playing Madden, you just keep pressing the button. Like, I get it. Fuck, I pressed A, passed it right away.
Yeah.
We do have a little bit of an update on the Desean Watson news, though. Like, he met with the coach and still wants out.
Yeah, he met with the coach. He's like, hey, fuck you, buddy.
I want to come out right now and get in front of it and say, if, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if we see the Texas quarterback switch, Watson gets traded for Prescott, 4 for 4.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Wendy's, how you like me now?
I thought you were talking about the Jay-Z album.
Well, that too. Yeah, I was. 4 for 4. All right, Mike, what we got next?
Mock draft season.
All right. Everyone's coming out with absolutely fucking terrible mock drafts like every year.
Mm-hmm.
Just...
Well, not like every year, because this is the first time ever Mel Kiper's put trades in his.
Okay.
He has the Jets trading the second pick to Carolina. Carolina's going to take Zach Wilson, and the Jets are going to take Kyle Pitts at 8th overall.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Really, they need receiver. Like, not get a receiver. That's what they got to do.
Unless they're very not sold on Sam, and they like really need to start over, and they can't get Desean, it's either lineman or Devonta Smith. That's it.
I just don't like when guys throw trades into a mock draft, because by mock, it's like you make it up as you go along.
Right.
You can make up any trade you want.
Yeah, but I don't hate it if there's like some actual thought behind it. Like,
yeah, I'm sure Mel Kiper knows more of what these teams are thinking than we do, but like anybody could just be like, oh, the Jets are going to trade the 2nd overall pick and gain 15 picks.
True.
yeah, but he also didn't, like, I think the one I saw, it was like up to like 15 or so. And when he did it, it was just, they swapped picks, and then he was just like, yeah, and the picks are going to be later. We'll figure that out when we get there. Like, one like that I don't hate, per se.
I don't know. When people throw in trades into mock drafts, it just becomes too much left to the imagination.
I get what you're saying.
I see a lot of people now talking about the Bears trading up to take Mac Jones in the top 10. I don't know how Mac Jones went from, like, the chubby kid who won who won the national champion to, like, now everybody wants him.
Because everyone's comparing his and Tom Brady's college photos from, like, before the draft where they both look like little fat boys.
Yeah.
And they're just be like, oh, this kid's the next Tom Brady. Look at him. He's fat, too.
Yeah, I think I think it's rumored that the Patriots were like going to trade up and try to get Mac Jones. And then
Yeah.
now I think they're looking at what's his kid's name from North Dakota?
Trey Lance.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, you know, the last North Dakota quarterback to be taken in the first round, our boy Carson Wentz.
Oh man. Not
Yep.
good.
My thing with Trey Lance is like, I'm not doubting that he's good or not. He played one game this past season. I just don't think that's enough for any team to really know what you're getting.
Well, everyone's calling him the big wild card of this draft. He could go top 10 or he could go 30th in the second. You know what I mean? Like,
But he's also a wild card in that, like, he could be the 4th overall pick to the Falcons, and I could see him being a complete bust. Or he could go in, like, the 3rd round to the Falcons and be a star. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to expect from him.
Or he could be a wild card and go to the Cardinals in the 6th round.
Okay. That could
No,
happen.
I was building off your joke earlier. The wild cards. All right, forget you guys. I'm going home.
Wait, you
Fuck outta
already are
here.
home.
Going to a new home.
Screw you guys. I'm going home to my old home.
But yeah, so sorry, my thought came in, then went right back out.
You took the spotlight there and were just like, I got nothing to say.
I promise I had a thought.
Dude, I'm at the edge of my seat waiting for that thought.
Oh my god. Anyway, so
Was it
Go
about
ahead.
Trevor Lawrence? Because it's like with every mock draft you see, it starts with the 2nd pick.
yeah.
Because it's just like, yes, we know now Trevor Lawrence is going to be a Jaguar.
No, yeah, he was all anyone talked about throughout the season, but once we figured out who that number 1 pick was, I haven't heard a word about him ever since.
I can't remember a year where it's been like this, where everybody's just going into the draft knowing who's going to be the number 1 pick.
Maybe the luck year.
Maybe, yeah.
No, I think they were. It was rumored though that RG3 might go number 1.
They kept bouncing back and forth that year.
Yeah, if you at least had 2 guys to talk about. This year, it's literally just like Trevor Lawrence up top and then a drop between whether it's Fields or Zach Wilson. Fun fact about Zach Wilson, what's his uncle own? JetBlue?
Oh, I have
Really?
No idea.
American Airlines? His uncle owned one of the airline companies, so people are like, yeah, he's just a spoiled rich kid.
See, that worries me because that's what happened with Johnny Manziel. He was a spoiled little rich kid. He
Josh
never.
Rosen.
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
Johnny
but-
Manziel was rich?
Oh yeah, I forget.
Johnny Manziel's dad was an oil tycoon, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like he had like money.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like his thing was like he scored a touchdown. He'd be like, "Yo, flash me money and stuff."
No,
Johnny Manziel was like, if I didn't play in the NFL, I'd still be stupid rich.
Johnny Manziel was born and was just and already had fuck you money. Like, like he's loaded.
Like, how about the time he was suspended from college football for charging for autographs?
No, but that's not even what I'm saying. Like his like grandfather is like a multi-hundred millionaire.
Yeah,
like
they're like old Texas money.
So if I picture Doug Dimmadome, like I'm not wrong, right?
no,
No.
not at all.
Honestly, every time people talk about Desean Watson and the owner of the Texans not getting along, I literally picture Doug Dimmadome just saying to Desean Watson, like,
owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
yeah, I own the Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. That's what I picture.
That's what I picture every time we talk about Jerry Jones, honestly.
Dude, Jerry Jones has the most ridiculous stories of the 90s when he was just the guy with the party bus for the party football team.
Bro, I hate that guy so much.
All right, we're getting off track. What's next?
We noticed last week that one new member, Michael McCraft over there, seems to have a little trouble with some European names. So we thought, let's have some fun and give him the hardest European names ever and see if he can pronounce them. So we're going to start off there.
No
Mike,
pressure.
Mike, how do you feel?
This is our new segment. It's going to be a game show called What's My Motherfucking Name?
So, Mike, how do you feel about this premise?
It's probably gonna feel a little weird, but let's just do it and see how bad this goes.
All right, let's see which one of the 3 of us can stump Michael Kraft the hardest with these names. Mine aren't all European, though.
Okay, whatever.
Two-
Yeah, one of mine's.
two
Oh
are.
no, yeah, it is.
2R.
Whatever. They're just hard ass names to say. All right, so who's jumping off first?
It's up to Kraft, however he wants to read them. So the way it's going to work is I'm a basketball guy. I send 3 basketball players. Devin's a hockey guy. Sends 3 hockey players' names. And Chris, being our MMA guy, sends 3 fighter names. Kraft's going to have to try to pronounce them.
Works for me.
Who you starting with first, Mike?
I'll go in the order that they are, and it's going to be Devin first.
All right.
So what's their motherfucking name?
First name, I got Matthew Tkachuk.
Say that again. It's hard to hear.
Matthew Tkachuk.
Kachuk.
Tkachuk.
Matthew Tonka Truck? What? You
Matthew
remember those?
Matthew Kachuk plays for the Calgary Flames up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
All right. Dustin Byfuglian.
Close. Buffalin.
Buffalo.
Former NHL defenseman, just recently retired. Spent most of his time playing with the Winnipeg Jets up in Canada also.
Isn't that one of those new gen Pokemon, a Buffalin?
A Buffalin. A Buffalo.
They might have made a Pokemon for him.
Buffalo Bills.
Next is Jonathan Toews.
Taves, actually.
Taze.
Jonathan
so-
Taves.
He was
Stanley-
pretty close on a couple of those.
He was pretty close. I was actually kind of impressed because I once I put Buffalin in there, I was like, "There's no way he's going to get it."
All right. Next comes
Wait, Dev. What do you say? Is he pass or fail? Like, what's the verdict? There's got to be some.
Is just passing or failing,
I don't know how we're gonna do this.
Is this a pass fail class? Is this?
or is it like A B C D E F?
I would say number 1 probably like an F. Number 2 like he was close.
All right, we'll give him like a B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Toes, whatever his name
Taze,
is.
apparently.
Taves.
I'd say D.
All right, so overall, what do you say, Dev? Did you stump him?
Overall, I'll have to give it I'll give it a C. Got 1 pretty damn close. 2 were kind of average that out.
You know, little, but not a bad performance. It was better than
Not
I thought it was gonna go.
But I think Dev gave you the easiest ones because those are all like English first names, where mine's gonna get a little bit harder, and then Chris is definitely the hardest.
All right, so let's.
All right. Next, I'm guessing we got Eric, because those aren't fighter names.
Let's
we
go.
Bam Adebayo.
That's
That's
not
pretty
terrible.
close,
Not
pretty close.
terrible.
Out of bio, but yeah, it's pretty spot on. I'll give you an A for that. Hi, Natalie.
Oh, Nat's in the building.
She woke up.
We see that. Jonas Valanciunas.
Ooh, real close. Hot
Ooh.
start. Jonas Valanciunas. But still, like,
Yeah, I'm impressed.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
that's another A for me, or at least a B plus.
And then we got Yusuf Nurkic.
Perfect.
Dude,
Spot on.
let's
All right.
go.
All right.
Kraft
Don't
killed mine, so.
Don't feel too cocky right now because you got Chris's name's coming up.
Yeah, some of these are.
So you beat me.
It's a lot of letters in a lot of places they should not be if you're in the English language.
You and your Russian names.
I don't think one of these is Russian.
Okay, well, Eastern European names.
True.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of nope.
And next up, we got Chris. Joanna Jerezerzik.
I think he just malfunctioned.
So yeah, just straight up F. It's Joanna Jędrzejczyk, former strawweight champion of the UFC.
I knew who it was. I just
Yeah.
don't know how to pronounce
I
it.
knew you. I was worried about that one because I know you know who it is, but it's just Joanna for most people because they can't say it. It took me a long time to be able to say Jędrzejczyk. So
That's Joanna Champ, right?
yeah.
Joanna Champ, yeah.
All right, next.
Zabit Megomedev Sharapov.
Not great on the first name. A lot better on the last name than I thought you were gonna be. That is Zabit Magomed Shapirov,
Zabit. I like that name.
Zabit, I can
Up and
get
coming-
behind.
Up and coming 145er, I want to say. Yeah, 145er. Dagestani guy.
And
Khabib
that's how you
guy.
let Zabit build.
Yeah. Just killer on his way up. And how about the last one?
Karolina Kowalski's.
Another F on that one, not gonna lie. So we're going Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Another Polish up and actually she's not up and comer anymore. She went on a big run. Kind of been up and down her last few fights, getting a little older, but still one of the prides of Poland, along with Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the first name. Not gonna lie, Mike, I'm probably gonna go like a D on that one because the first two were not good. The middle one saved you from the full F.
Zabit. Still love that name. I think, Chris, you win that one.
Yeah, that.
Yep.
I did my boy dirty. I'm not gonna lie.
You definitely win. I definitely lost. Dev was somewhere in the middle.
So Eric and Dev, what does Chris win?
Respect.
This is just the first game. I mean, we got a whole season
Oh,
ahead
yeah.
of us, you know?
You know, we got this. I feel like this is gonna become very, very competitive.
This might become contentious.
Yeah.
And
Don't
what do
forget,
I
we
get
might
when
remix
I
it up
eventually
and make you
win?
spell these names.
If you get, you know what? If you get an A on everyone for a week, we'll band together and you can pick anything from the merch store and we'll get it for you.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. But you got to get all 9.
9 A's.
All right. And that was What's My Motherfucking Name? Mike, what's next?
Probably Eric's favorite topic, NBA news.
Let's get into it.
All right.
What's first on the docket?
Knicks are over 500.
Let's go! Let's go! Is this what hope feels like, guys?
Guys, we are
Yes, but
18 and 17.
I'm so scared. Like,
I'm so
I know the floor is gonna come crashing down. I'm not prepared for this happiness of
The floor is coming out from underneath us. The roof is going to come down from on top of us, but we're riding the wave till we get there.
We're just setting ourselves up for disappointment and heartbreak. This is the first time since Melo in 2013 the Knicks have been over 500 this late in the season.
Yeah, me and Devin were just talking about it the other day. It's just like, this is the first time they've been over 500 for as long as I can remember, unless it was like the third game of the season. Like,
Yeah, dude.
whoa. That didn't even happen.
I was just gonna say that.
It'd be like the first game of the season.
The Knicks lost their first 2 games. It doesn't matter because it's March and we got a winning record, the 4th seed in the East, even though like the 4th seed through the 10th seed in the East are separated by I think 2 games now.
we got an all-star.
We got an all-star,
We got a slam dunk participant.
Obi Toppin, ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. I also think Thibs is just a really good coach.
He is.
Just a quick point on Obi Toppin. I love his dad's nickname when he played basketball, Dunker's Delight.
Yo.
That is probably my favorite fucking old school fucking sports
The
nickname.
son of Dunker's Delight is in the dunk contest.
That's literally why they brought him in.
He's got to be in a
Oh
favorite,
my goodness.
right?
I mean, yes.
The Knicks play tonight in San Antonio. It's that's a good test for them to go against the Spurs with Popovich. You know they're gonna always be a good team.
Mm-hmm.
I like them.
They just came off a win, didn't they?
No, they lost. Wait, the
Who?
Knicks are the Spurs.
Spurs.
The Spurs
they just
lost in
lost.
overtime.
Oh, that was it.
They lost in overtime last night to the Nets, who I
Yeah.
think were one of the next teams we're gonna talk about. The Nets have now won 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 11, something
9
like that.
out of 10.
Without KD's help.
Without Kevin Durant. When
Yeah.
Kevin Durant comes back, how good is this team?
Oh, for sure. Kyrie and Harden have figured it out together. I'm very impressed.
It's gonna be stupid good how good they are.
I thought those two were the ones that were going to clash a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're lockstep right now.
They're letting Harden be the point guard, and he had 10 assists in the first half last night.
I know.
Dev, do you think the Nets are going to win the East?
How is this even a question?
I
I
mean,
was just thinking the same thing.
dude, you put me in a pickle. Yes. Yes.
Just like-
Yeah, I don't know why you thought so much about that. I don't see anyone beating them. I think the Sixers maybe are like the next best, but the Sixers still have their questions and they're having injuries and stuff.
like, No shot. No one else. Like,
if the Nets stay healthy, like, just give them
Yeah.
the Eastern crown right now.
I'm willing to say even if they don't stay healthy, because right now watching Harden with his 30-point triple-double, like Harden's playing like an MVP. You still have Kyrie. If it's Harden and Kyrie, I could see that team winning the East. Throw in Durant, yeah, they can win the title.
yeah, 100%. And just kind of piggybacking off this Nets talk, I've been wanting to make this point for a couple weeks now, and I just keep forgetting to. Do we think that Harden's reputation of this selfish guy, always has to get his 50 points, blah, 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 just won't let go of the ball, was kind of a product of just being in Houston and maybe having one guy good with him, but just not really having a super solid team around him, that he was just kind of like we were talking about with Bradley Beal last week. Someone's got to score.
I think so.
Yes,
I
because
think so.
Harden leads the league in assists, 11 assists a game. So I don't know how people can say that. You look at the teams he had in Houston. Yeah, he had Chris Paul for a few years, and they were good. They were probably the best chance he had at winning a finals.
But they bumped heads a lot. And
They bumped heads a lot. D'Antoni doesn't know how to coach defense, and they ran into the Warriors. So that then he had a year with Westbrook. Westbrook can't shoot. Now he has Kyrie Irving, who can shoot.
very well.
I think that was he was definitely getting a little bit of a bum rap because of the way that Houston played. Also was kind of just like give James the ball. Yeah.
ISO.
Clear out. Everybody stand behind the 3-point line. I don't know.
Dude, all of them are just facilitating like crazy too. Like, did you see that fucking assist from Kyrie last night
to DeAndre, the alley-oop?
Yeah,
That was number 1 in SportsCenter top 10.
Yeah, like that was fucking beautiful. But yeah, so just that team is just poetry in motion right now, and it's just gonna get better.
They're so fun to watch.
And it's just gonna get better.
Honestly, them coming together at this point in their careers, probably the best thing that happened to them. Because if you think about it, they grew up, got rid of all that immature bullshit, and we're all the stars at some point, and now understand, listen, we could be the best team in the league. We could be the best team in the world right now. Like, let's put the petty bullshit aside and let's work together. Let's actually be a team.
I love that because you're right, and it also took them being extremely immature to get to this point where they're past the immaturity.
Right.
You had Harden literally getting himself fat to get traded. You had Kyrie just going AWOL on the team so that nobody would trade for him. And look at it. They're together in perfect harmony.
And Katie's just sitting there like, ain't nobody fucking trading me, so y'all figure this out.
Listen, me and my bum hamstring, we're just going to sit here. You guys, we'll come in and play when we're ready.
Yeah, and like we were talking about with Anthony Davis last week, the Lakers have the luxury of letting we thought the Lakers had the luxury of letting Davis.
They're going to figure it out.
They're going to figure it out. But the Nets absolutely have the luxury of saying, hey, if Kevin Durant needs to take an extra month for his hamstring, we still have 2 of the best players in the game.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think Durant's not coming back till like after All-Star game, right?
No. And
but there's no reason for him to.
But that leads me to another topic we had on the docket. Actually, this is like 3 topics in one. But Durant not going to play in the All-Star game, which means I literally spoke it into existence. Domantas Sabonis is an All-Star.
Oh yeah.
Preach.
This is like no, the Devin Booker
Pats
thing.
Pats on the back.
The Devin Booker thing happened before.
It happened before.
But so, yeah, just we're
good.
We're magic on this show. Like, if you guys don't listen to us at this point, like, you're missing out.
You're just missing out. You got to find us on Twitter, Facebook, social medias, all of that.
Because we just call fucking everything.
We're literally predicting the future for you. Anyways, back to the bets. Does James Harden enter the MVP conversation?
If he can keep it up. But I fully expect him to. I think he should have been on the starting roster over Kyrie and of the All-Stars, you know what I mean? And it's hard. They're not having as much of the success as they're used to, but he's having a huge year. LeBron and AD playing off each other when if AD comes back, kind of takes them out of it, I think, just because there's not as many opportunities. But James Harden on the point.
I think with Harden, the problem is going to be when Durant comes back.
Yeah, that's the
You're
other
going
big
to see
one.
a drop in Harden's numbers. Like, not a drop because he's still Harden, but, like, it's going to be less jumping off the page of, like, holy shit, this guy's going off.
Right.
Where, like, you look at Jokic, and last night Jokic had, like, 39, 10, 9. Like, he's going to still just put up those numbers. So I think it's Jokic's award to lose. Embiid's probably second. Steph's in the mix. LeBron's going to always be in the mix. But I think Harden has to be in the conversation because when Durant went down, we weren't sure how the Nets were going to play. And like we've said, they've won 9 out of 10. Like, they're rolling.
Yeah. I think Harden should be in the conversation, but I don't think that's what he's playing for this year. I think
this year
he's playing for the
dedicated
ring.
to
Yeah. He's just trying to get it done, and
He's like Frodo right now. He's on the quest for the ring.
Nah, he's more like Sauron right now because he's on the quest to get the ring, not get rid of it.
Side note, true story, confession, I've never been able to watch more than 30 minutes of a Lord of the Rings movie without falling asleep.
Really?
That's okay. I've only seen maybe half of the first one.
Whoa!
I'm a movie.
Whoa!
I'm a movie sleeper. Devin can attest to this. I fall asleep during movies if I'm
True.
I'm not into it. Lord of the Rings just never caught me.
Yeah, I was like 11 when the first one came out and watching it with one of my friends. Halfway through it, I'm like, I'm bored. Y'all bored? And they were like, yeah, we're bored. Want to go outside and play? Yeah, we went outside and played.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh man, this might be the inner turmoil that breaks up this team right here.
We got some.
I have some strong feelings
We
on
got
Lord of the Rings.
got some
Are we gonna have to have Basement Boys movie night?
Bro, I literally grew up on like the 80s animated Lord of the Rings
Yo,
movies.
get the popcorn. Let's do it. We're having a slumber party. We're all watching.
I was today years old when I found out there was an 80s Lord of the Rings animated movie.
Same.
Same.
What the fuck?
Same. Breaking news.
Hit everybody right now.
Sound the alarm. Breaking news.
Wow, 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 wow.
I don't know if any of us are friends.
I mean, I love Lord of the Rings, but I did not know that.
Oh yeah, dude. My Uncle Henry had literally just an entire wall of just random fucking movies.
Shout out Uncle Henry.
I think you know my Uncle Henry, Dev. He's at the job.
Probably.
A lot.
Oh yeah. You told me that, Sim. Like you've introduced me to him or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so we talked about James Harden. We've got to talk about the other side of the James Harden trade. Houston is where nobody wants to be.
Oh yeah.
We just talked about J.J. Watt left. Yeah.
No, DeMarcus Cousins wanted to be with John Wall, right?
Yeah, he left too. So
Yeah,
DeMarcus
so-
Cousins doesn't want to be there. Going through the sports, you got Harden left, J.J. Watt left, Desean Watson's on his way out. You had Chris Paul and Russ Westbrook both come and going last year.
Don't forget D-Hop.
D-Hop got shipped out. Baseball, you saw Garrett Cole and George Springer leave. Now, Victor Oladipo, who was part of the Harden trade, he's a two-time All-Star, turned down a 2-year, like $40 million extension to be with the Rockets, who have now lost 12 straight games.
So, do you think that's money related, or do you think that he just understands this is a sinking ship?
Both.
I think it's both. I think no. Actually, take it back. I think it's sinking ship, but also nobody wants to play for Tillman Fertitta, the owner of the Rockets, who is like a old school.
It's Fertitta.
Don't give a shit.
I only know that because his brothers used to own the
From
UFC.
Yeah.
But
Yo, give
he's
that
like-
name to Mike.
right. He's a old school kind of guy, like very conservative in everything he does, and does not make the players feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's driving players out because of that. It's a sinking ship. Cousins wasn't. I mean, he's obviously not the Cousins of a few years ago, but
But he can be a good piece.
he was playing well. He wanted out. Oladipo doesn't want to sign there. John Wall is going to stay because John Wall is building himself back to where he was.
right.
Christian Wood's a good player. He's out. I think Oladipo is probably not going to see much better money anywhere else because he's coming off a series of injuries as well. He just doesn't want to play for the Rockets.
Yeah. I also think he wants more than I think it was a 2-year, 40-something million, something like that. 44.
Something like that. Maybe he wants a longer term deal.
Yeah, that's
I was saying,
that's what I'm thinking on the money side. But yeah, it's just Houston's. No one wants to be in Houston.
I was saying the other day that if you're going to play for a struggling team like that, you're probably going to look for financial stability and sign him up for a long-term deal that gets him the most money as much as possible. I think this summer he's eligible to make 140 mil potentially. That's the max contract that he could get.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. But also, speaking of the Rockets being a sinking ship, though, the Rockets gave up picks to get Chris Paul. They gave up picks to get
Westbrook.
Well, no, they got picks in exchange for the Harden trade. Their future is just looking so shaky for the next few years. We could be looking at a historically bad team.
Oh yeah.
They've lost 12 straight. The other night they had I don't know what they ended with, but in the fourth quarter against the Grizzlies, they had 65 points. And the Grizzlies are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. We are looking at they're going to be the conversation of could Alabama beat the Browns? It's going to be will the top college team, can Gonzaga contend with the Rockets?
No, I haven't seen a fall off like this from a team from one year to the next since the LeBron move.
But you want to know what's incredible? It's going to be really fun. Tomorrow night, by the time this airs, Wednesday night basketball, the Nets in Houston.
Oh.
James Harden returns. So
Yo, he's about to drop 97.
Yeah, you don't see Desean Watson sitting there with a Brooklyn jersey on.
Oh, shit. Let's go.
No, Deshaun's going to show up wearing a J.J. Watt Arizona Cardinals jersey.
Which we all have to get, by the way.
We all have to get.
We're just waiting for those to drop.
Yeah, it's in the works.
So
One day we're just all going to show up wearing J.J. Watt Cardinals jersey, and we're just not going to say anything about it.
how do we want to do it? Are we all going to get the same one? Because I kind of want to get the blackout one where it's red letters, black,
I want to see the options. I do like the blackout ones, but I want to peep the options, and then we'll figure it out. But just one day we're all just going to be sitting here in J.J. Watt jerseys and not say a thing about it.
If you listen to this show and you know how to use Photoshop or a good editing system to make the jersey thing happen, we'd love to see some pictures of J.J. Watt on Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
We'd love to see any situation that we've been talking about on the show, Russell Wilson going to different teams, all of that.
I'll figure it out. I'll see what I can do.
All right.
I'm a busy guy out here, all right?
Dude, you got to sleep.
Nah. We don't do that around here.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, right?
Let's move on to baseball.
Talking about James Harden, no sleep till Brooklyn, all right?
Hey.
Hey, look at this guy.
All right. So, yeah. Move
Baseball's
on to
back.
baseball.
Spring training has begun.
And the Yankees are already getting in their own fucking way.
So the Yankees played a 7-inning game. That's interesting.
Don't they always play 7 innings in spring training?
No.
Really?
No, yeah, they've always played 9 innings. Now they're just doing 7 innings because I think after last year where so many things were altered and just on the fly, they're just making shit up as they go along. The Red Sox, Garrett Richards, who started the game, couldn't get shit out. He threw 23 pitches, and there's a new rule in spring training that if the pitcher goes more than 20 pitches, he can just end the inning.
That's crazy.
Rule. He threw 23 pitches, the bases were loaded, they just ended the inning.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to not get guys hurt. And they're also, I think the 7-inning thing is they've been talking about this, maybe not the MLB, but, people around the MLB have been talking about, maybe shortening the games, maybe doing stuff like that to,
For spring training, it all makes sense.
No, but I'm saying even in actual baseball, I've heard a lot of talk about it just to try to shorten the game, make it a little quicker, the pitch count type things, nothing super serious. But I think spring training is it's the time to be you know what, let's just see how it goes.
Does anybody know if there's going to be a DH in the National League this year?
No.
I don't believe so.
you don't believe that there will be one, or you don't believe that there's a confirmation?
I don't believe there will be one.
No, from what I've heard, it's been confirmed that they're not having a DH.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Works for me.
Which is stupid.
Speak it into existence.
They really need to
stupid.
have a DH in the National League.
It works
Like,
for
what-
the Mets, though, because, I mean, I'm cool with it. DeGrom hits homers. Syndergaard has a couple of dingers.
Okay,
And then
they're special.
Yeah, there's a couple people who kind of work into the be able
Madison
to do both.
Bumgarner.
But, what's that guy's name?
Dontrell Willis. They used him as a pinch hitter.
That's not who I'm thinking of, but
I'm
it's
thinking.
Throwback right there.
yeah, whatever. But anyway, yeah, but what I'm talking about with the Yankees is this just whole Domingo Herman debacle that's going on right now. You have Zach Britton coming out saying, "Hey, man, you don't get to pick your teammates." You have other members of his team being like, "Look, he came in, he said his thing, he's our teammate, we're behind him, but he's on thin ice. He messes up one time, it's done." And more details have come out on the situation. They were at CC's charity benefit, whatever dinner, and he slaps his girlfriend in public
In front of the rest of the team.
in front of the rest of the team. The team had to restrain him. They had to send them home in separate cars.
Mhm.
And then when they get home, she ends up having to lock herself in a room, calls one of the other players' wives. It has remained nameless, but that player and the wife now comes to the
Residents.
house, has to like physically restrain Domingo, and the wife has to take the girlfriend out of there.
Damn.
Jesus.
And they're still together.
So what's
That's-
the MLB's punishment for Herman? Is he suspended for the season?
He was suspended last season. He's back now.
But is he fully reinstated?
Yes.
Interesting. So the Yankees now have him and Chapman. People forget Chapman held a gun to his pregnant girlfriend.
Yes. But like a lot of people have been saying, Chapman was dropped by that team and then repicked up. You know what I mean? Like he involves his team so heavily in this. It's not something like, "Oh, it happened at home. You don't really know what's going on." Like no, they saw it. They had to experience it. They had to
That's really awkward.
physically remove the girlfriend.
That's gotta be so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've even heard the rest of the team be like, "Look, we're like, he's here, and we got to deal with it." But
It seems like it's casting a dark shadow over this team that, honestly, on paper, the Yankees could win the World Series. The Yankees have a great team. Could this be something that stops them?
I truly think so because
Yeah.
Herman had one good year for us.
Yeah, it wasn't like
has
his-
been nothing but problems.
I was gonna say, like, wasn't after that good year, it wasn't like his star the brightest it had ever been, and then he's getting into these assault charges. Was he charged?
No, because the girlfriend did not want to press charges.
Because
Okay.
he's a professional athlete in New York.
So like he's getting into these incidents, and ends up getting suspended. All right, you lose a whole year. Before that, like he was injury prone, right?
Yeah, he definitely gets banged up.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if the Yankees run into a problem where they need pitching, and you're looking at the end of the bench, and you're like, well, that could be Domingo's spot, but he's getting in his own way and looking like a horrible person. Like,
And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like there's not going to be a team that picks him up if they dropped him. Like obviously it's going to happen, but like when it's caused that much personal trauma throughout,
They're
The
the team.
team?
Yeah.
like how do you bring this guy back in? I understand you need pitching. Your lineup isn't as set. Tanaka went back to Asia, blah 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 blah.
So you think the Yankees should just cut him loose?
Yeah.
Herman?
I just think it's too much of a distraction, too much different opinions throughout the team, and you just can't be doing that. You really can't.
and who's to say they'll also like say, what's to say the Yankees like go through a rough stretch, and like Domingo like lets up blows a game for the team or whatnot. Who's to say that player that got involved is just frustrated and it's like, you know what, fuck this shit, and just snaps, and then you got a whole brawl breaking out in the locker room.
That's what I'm saying. There is so many underlying different factors in this that it's
just too easy for a player to build up resentment towards him.
yeah.
And I think there's if it's creating a rift in the locker room, and we're in March talking about it, it's going to be a problem, especially come October.
And but and it's definitely already causing a rift because you've seen Domingo Herman come out. You've seen all these other, not Domingo Herman, Zach Britton come out about it and straight up say, "Look, you don't get to choose your teammates. I just kind of got to deal with it." Like, he does not want to be there with the guy.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem, and I wonder how much say Aaron Boone has over what happens next and what he wants to do. But that's going to be something we have to all keep an eye on looking forward.
Yeah, I think. For a team that never makes the bad PR decision, this is the worst PR decision I've seen them ever make.
I wouldn't say never. Chapman.
I get what you're saying, but like I said, it didn't happen on the team. It didn't happen in the locker room.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was a team event that this happened at, and that makes it that much more awkward because there's also going to be resentment amongst the players of, well, why didn't you get involved? Well, should I have gotten involved? Should I have said something? Should I have done this and that? Like, he's just putting everybody kind of, on edge. It's just, I think you're right. I think that you got to let him go.
And don't forget, the players are probably hearing this from the girlfriends and their wives being like, yo, we should do something. No, we shouldn't do something. We should do something. Like, we should get her out of there. We shouldn't get her out of there. Like, their players are probably hearing it on every side.
And that's the other thing. It's not like this was just like a momentary lapse of judgment. It wasn't like, not even saying that makes it right, but you know what I mean? It's not just like he got enraged for a second, did something, and was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Apparently he slapped her. The teammates pulled him off of her, and he was still going. He was still freaking out. He was still trying to get after her. It's not like this is something deep-seated within the guy. This is something that he needs to get help for.
Sounds like he needs some anger management counseling.
This is not again, not to say it makes it right, but this is not a momentary lapse of judgment. This is something that if he's going to do in public, what's he doing at home?
Right.
It's a great point.
None of this makes sense to me. There's no reason this should have happened.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
All right, so going to some.
Sorry, I had to get that off.
No, it's. Yeah, definitely. No, we're talking baseball. I was going to stick with the Yankees and talk about some baseball-related other player news, like James Talon coming back. Guy has a very impressive injury list.
This guy, man.
Tommy John, then a sports hernia, then he got hit in the head with a line drive. Then he beat testicular cancer, and then he had another Tommy John. Dude's a warrior.
Dude, and he's still yeah, let's play.
Yeah, props to him. I mean, he pitched yesterday.
Fucking any other person at this point would have been like, yeah, you know what? Maybe baseball's not for me.
Maybe not.
But he's just like, nope, we're here. We're doing it. Let's go.
He's just putting his body through it, and he's doing it.
Yeah, shout to him.
Nat, do you want to talk about Gary Sanchez? What did the Yankees do with Gary Sanchez?
I'll get rid of him at this point.
Dude,
this is the highest. This is the highest his stock's gonna be.
He hit a monster home run yesterday.
He did, but
he's capable. He's
I agree
capable
with Chris.
of it, but he's not consistent enough.
I think another team needs to miss a DH.
Yeah, and he's getting better at blocking the ball and framing the ball, but ever since Girardi left.
But it's also crazy. What's crazy is last year, look at the numbers Garrett Cole had with Sanchez as a catcher versus with anybody else. He had a 3.70 ERA with Sanchez behind the plate and 1.70 ERA with anybody else.
Well, they were saying that.
Wild.
Oh God, what the hell is that guy? His name?
Higashioka.
Yeah.
Thank you. Garrett Cole preferred him, and that was kind of one of the reasons why Gary Sanchez was losing his job essentially.
No, that was a big thing the year before too. I forget who it was. Someone else preferred him.
It seems like it's the ace of the staff doesn't have faith in Sanchez.
Yeah. Because, Sanchez could get you the big bomb, and, that's all well and good, even though I don't believe he's consistent enough in that either.
No, he was hitting 200 for most of the season last year, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Higashioka is just a better catcher.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's better at framing the ball. He's better at getting blocks. He's better at throwing guys down. he doesn't have the upside that Gary had coming into the league, but he's just a solid catcher, and any ace pitcher is going to be like, give me the guy that can help me pitch my best.
Right, and then you look at the Yankees lineup of Judge and Stanton and Voit and LeMahieu and Glaber, and you realize, yeah, you can sacrifice the good hitting catcher for a good defensive catcher.
Mhm.
Right, especially in that team, because no matter what, one of those guys is going to be on.
Right.
So you don't need to stack the bench anymore, and especially because Gary Sanchez is never really on anymore.
I think you should trade him and maybe get a pitcher just to replace Herman. You cut him loose.
I mean, that'd be an
And we
ideal
need-
trade.
Yeah, we need someone to replace Tanaka too. Because say what you want about Tanaka, he was a little inconsistent in the regular season last year, but postseason,
Is
Man's a killer.
Severino coming back?
I haven't heard much about him. I know he injuries, and that's why he missed all last season. But that's a question mark to me. I don't know.
Did he was he out with Tommy John last season?
I know it was something with either the elbow or the shoulder. I'm not 100% sure which, but
He's been out for a whole year, so even when he comes back, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Right.
yeah, but you're not requiring him to be the ace anymore because you have Garrett Cole, so I think that takes a lot of pressure off his shoulders. As long as he
Right.
can be solid,
Yeah, and then you have
that's all you need him to do.
Kluber's gonna be the number 2,
Yeah.
Oh God, I forgot he was there.
right? That's why you gotta watch these spring training games just to remember who is where.
And that's the thing with Severino. As long as he's solid, he still has solid upside because when he's on, he has some of the nastiest stuff in the game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He was a great pitcher.
Yeah, so if he's your number 3, that's he had ace potential. He wasn't consistent enough. But if he's your number 3, whew,
You're in
Not
you're
trouble.
set.
bad,
Yeah,
not
you're
bad.
set.
If you have to play a 5-game series in the playoffs, fuck, game 1, 2, 3, you're looking at 3 great pitchers.
And then you can probably go back to Cole and Kluber for 4 and 5.
Well, that's assuming that Kluber's back to the Kluber he was when he won the Cy Young, because
Right.
he's
True.
also missed a year and he was getting hit when he was healthy, and then so it'll take a grain of salt.
But you don't know if he had nagging injuries that maybe taking that year off helped. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's things that can happen. I made the joke off air that Eric's wearing that shirt because his best friend Trevor Bauer pitched a great game
He
in.
pitched 2 innings. Yeah, it's all right. Trevor Bauer he'll be fine. Whatever. I don't know. The Mets had their spring training opener yesterday. Lindor went 0 for 2, but nobody really played. So it's
He's getting his
Spring
timing
training.
back. He's
Spring
getting
training.
he's getting his thing going with the new team.
we're all in spring training right now, getting ready.
Lindor's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine. In a couple
Yeah.
weeks, we should do our MLB predictions. Last thing, Dev, you brought it up, and we should all touch on it real quick. Is that Trey Mancini, who's been battling cancer, had his first plate appearance and got a standing ovation.
Let's go. Love to see it.
Not only that, hit a nice little single to center at his first at bat.
There you go. That's a feel-good story of spring so far.
Things like that just make me happy.
Yeah.
Just those are the types of things that get me.
Those are
You
the
know what I
things
mean?
They just throw into SportsCenter to make Chris smile.
Just pull at my heartstrings a lot. You know what I'm saying?
The one
Probably
tear
shouldn't
comes
do
down the
this
cheek.
motion, but yeah, that's all the real big baseball news I got.
That's all I got for baseball.
That's it so far.
Let's move on. Dev,
Yo,
I think it might be time.
it's that time.
to bring back the long-awaited segment that everyone's been asking for.
Yes, sir.
Let's do that hockey.
So we taking it to the frozen pond. Nah. But big news. NHL decided to play a couple games up in Lake Tahoe. Beautiful area. If you ever been there, I personally haven't. But hey, from what I've seen, it looks amazing.
Looks incredible.
And it's funny because NHL has been doing outdoor games for since like 2008 now.
Dude, I love them.
Then they're fucking awesome. Kind of players have said it reminds them of being kids and just playing out on the pond. But the NHL forgot to worry about the sun when scheduling this particular game
Yes.
between the Colorado Avalanche and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They set the game for like 3 o'clock East Coast time because they're thinking, hey, let's get more eyes on this. And
That's
you know,
noon, Lake Tahoe time.
right when the sun is right above you, beautiful sky. I mean, beautiful clearing. There's no clouds to block the sun. So as the players are playing, the sun is doing what the sun does and melting ice. You got players tripping on their feet, tripping on the ice. You got refs falling down left and right. They ended up delaying the game after the first period with Colorado up 1-0. It took them about 8 hours
Jeez.
to resume play. Had to wait for the sun to set, freeze again, reset everything, and then
Were there
players went
fans
right back.
there?
Hold on. Just before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of this, I'm stealing Eric's thunder today, putting on my tinfoil hat. Do we think that because the Las Vegas Golden Knights came in 3-4 years ago, whatever it was, so hot, that the NHL is trying to, like, you know, take them out a little bit, take them down a peg, can't have the expansion team come in and just take over all these established teams, you know, trying to take them out, fall through the ice.
Nah,
Dude,
they wouldn't.
I see what you did there. No, like half of hockey's an expansion team or a team that's relocated.
All right.
Okay.
Like,
I'm still, you know.
and
were
plus,
were there fans there?
I have no idea actually. I'm not 100% sure.
You really did your homework there, Dev.
I really did when Natalie wasn't screaming at me to like feed her and all that good stuff.
No, it's
Oh,
fine
yeah, oh,
because
yeah.
you think you didn't do your homework. Just imagine being the guy who forgot about the sun.
Oh, the
gotta
commissioner.
Someone's got to get fired there.
I mean, who's going to fire the commissioner?
He should just be a man and step down and be like, "Hey guys, I forgot the sun.
Can't do that.
No.
Ice melts in weather. Forget.
So-
Sorry.
They've learned they learned their mistake on Saturday. They had another game scheduled for Sunday between the Boston Bruins and the Philadelphia Flyers. That was also supposed to be like a midday start time. They pushed that game back to 7:00.
Smart.
Hey guys.
Learn from your
The sun.
mistakes.
There you go. They did learn. They did learn.
Good for them. I'm proud of them.
While we're talking conspiracies and hockey, Devin,
Yes.
please explain to me what the fuck is going on with Putin and the New York Rangers.
All right. So, moral of the story: Putin is crazy.
Okay. Coldest take of the year.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm waiting for the part where I learned something new.
So, Rangers left winger Artemi Panarin is from Russia, and on his Instagram liked a couple posts from the incompetent, no, my fault, the challenger for Putin's seat, whatever Putin is. Putin got wind of that and decided, instead of just ignoring it, be like, oh, he's in America, he's not really worth my time. Somehow the Kremlin leaks a report that back in 2011, when Artemi was 18, got into an altercation with his pregnant girlfriend while he was with a KHL team. I forget the name of the team. And accusations came out, and even Artemi had to take a step away. Rangers did the right thing and were like, hey, this is a political intimidation tactic. We do not endorse this. And Artemi is going to take some time for himself, get his mind right, get it situated, figure out what to do with his family, because he still has people in Russia. I think his grandparents still live there, and I'm not sure about his parents. So while Artemi's away from the team, his KHL team comes out and was just like, yeah, there was no report of any incident like that during that time.
wow. That's big for them. That's pretty dangerous
That's
for
really
them.
bold of them.
Right, because they're still there. Like, at least Artemi's over here.
Yeah, next time they have a road trip, their brakes aren't going to work.
They
Yeah, for
might
real.
have to walk or take a horse or something like that.
But no, that's actually really good for them. Like
Mhm.
no one goes back on Putin, my guy. You
Right.
do not do that.
Yeah, standing up to Putin for a guy who literally, the player left them to go to the Rangers, right? Good for them.
Blue Jackets first, but yeah.
The idea.
But even former players have been like, Artemi's not that guy. Like, everyone's coming out in support of Artemi. You kind of have to wonder what's going to happen to everyone that's coming out in support of him.
Yeah, everyone on the Rangers, everyone on the thing is just like, he's such a mild-mannered guy. Nothing rattles him. He's never too hot or too cold. He's just a good dude.
So he's not like the ice in Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
Not too hot, not too cold.
But yeah, just a very, very mild mannered guy, and like this one is so blatantly, obviously, like just politically motivated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You know what I mean? Like,
how's the NHL navigating this? How are the Rangers navigating this? Because, normally you try to avoid politics as much as possible, but when Putin's literally just fabricating a story about a player,
well, I think the Rangers came out and said that, didn't they? Like, they
Yeah.
released a statement saying, like, look, this is bullshit. This never happened. We are here for Artemi.
good for
Right,
them.
and they're
for
doing their due diligence and looking into the accusations made against them, and their team will do everything in their power. I'm sure the league is doing everything in their power, and for the time being, Artemi is taking a leave of absence.
Wow. I feel like we're living in a spy movie. Watching
Yeah, right?
the
This-
Rangers unfold. They'll have to keep us updated on that.
Yeah, this is
Hey.
like one of those like really scary sports moments.
This is gonna be
Yeah.
a really cool 30 for 30 in a few years.
Yeah, right? Like this is literally like the hockey player who loved me, whatever that James Bond movie is.
The
Like-
hockey
The spy
player
who loved me?
Chris. There you have it.
But yeah, I've got
Not
my
me.
people out there. I'm tapping into the streets, seeing what I can find out. So when I find out more information, best believe I'll report it
Alright.
here.
Devin's got all the plugs in the streets of
Devin's
Moscow.
Devin's officially our correspondent in the Kremlin.
Shh, I don't know what you're talking about. Yet.
All right, yeah, just a shitty situation going on with the Rangers. Any other big hockey news, Dev? Or
I mean, no, not really. It's been a quiet week. Rangers played the Bruins a couple times. If they meet
split,
it,
didn't they?
they split. Also, some people's faces got split open with the good old fashioned slobber knocker fights and everything. But if the Rangers make the
I love
playoffs and meet the Bruins, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, well, the first game they won like fucking like 6-1, right? And then the second game it was
6-2,
like,
something like that. Yeah.
and then the second game they snuck out like a 3-2 or something like that, I believe. The Bruins did.
Yeah. Bruins ended up winning.
See, I paid attention. I watch hockey.
He did.
Paying
I was
attention.
on my way to work when the game was on, so I had to listen to it in the car and everything. But yeah, wasn't a great outing for the second game, but we'll see. Guys, just keep winning right now. Get pucks to net.
Pucks in net. That's all we need.
There you go.
All right, so moving on a little bit. I think the only other big news I have anyway is it's a big fight weekend once again. UFC 259, probably the most stacked card of the year. 3 title fights, 1 possible new double champ, and it's just gonna be an absolute fantastic card. Look out for my picks. By the time this comes out, that'll probably already be up. 'Cause I'm
How many picks are you taking this week?
5. I always do the main card.
Always doing 5. Gonna go 5.
Not always, because everyone seems to fuck up and get their fights taken off my cards.
Yeah, it
but
seems to be. All right, so we'll aim for 4. Gonna go 4 for 4.
I'm releasing 5 when they get there. Hopefully they stay on.
Chris has 5 on it.
All the winners.
But yeah, just really want to talk about the title fights. First of all, got the 135-pound men's title on the line. Peter Yan defending against Aljamain Sterling. I'm so this is the sleeper fight of the card for me. Just it is such an interesting stylistic matchup. Another the young up and coming Russian fighter, actually not a Khabib guy for once, but just a young champion with a very, very complex puzzle in Aljamain Sterling. And I really think Aljamain Sterling just has the recipe to beat Petr Yan. I think he's the more complete fighter. And if he can get his hands on him, if Aljamain can get his hands on him early when they're still dry, I feel like his submission defense is something that Petr Yan needs to work on a little more. Like, his wrestling's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but straight wrestling can lead you into a lot of different chokes. your head can get exposed pretty quick. But he seems. I want to say it was Corey Sandhagen who. I think it was Corey Sandhagen. I could be wrong. But anyway, the fight I'm thinking of, he got to hold him early when he was dry and put him into some situations. And Aljamain Sterling trains with Matt Serra, trains with Chris Weidman. So you know his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu are on point. I feel like it could cause him problems. I feel like he's just the more quick and athletic guy. I think this is going to be a tough fight for no matter who the winner is, but I think Aljo can get it done. And I'm super excited for this fight because I'm a big Aljo fan. I'm so happy he's finally getting his shot. He's deserved it for like the last 2-3 years, in my opinion.
All right, as a casual, who's the favorite in this one?
I think it's close to a pick'em at this point, but Piotr Jan.
So you're going with the upset here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Question for you.
We
What do you
got
mean? Well, I was gonna say, like, what do you mean by when a fighter is dry?
Just no sweat on them.
Oh,
no what?
It changes.
that makes sense.
It changes the jiu-jitsu game once they start going and they start getting all sweaty. Like, you slip off so quickly
Mm-hmm.
compared to when they're dry. You can get some actual grip to them. But no, I understand where that question came from, but it's just a very simple answer. Just actually dry.
No, I was expecting like some crazy fighting terminology, and then no.
No,
Nope.
it's just like, how come the hockey game was delayed? The sun
sun.
melted the ice. Just that simple.
All right, moving on. Featherweight title fight in the female featherweight division.
Got some
Amanda
weighty-
Nunes versus Megan Anderson. And I think this is a lot more of an interesting fight than people think of, but it's Amanda fucking Nunes.
Is she gonna kill her? Is Amanda Nunes gonna kill the other person? I couldn't pronounce that name.
It's probably Megan Anderson.
Listen,
It's easier to-
I'm a casual fan, but I'm just gonna put all my money on Amanda Nunes. That's not a bad move, right?
Well, you'll win like $3 because she's
Yeah.
a minus 1,400, I think.
Fuck yeah, $3 more.
But yes, she is the greatest female fighter of all time. The way she handled Rousey, handled Tate, handled Chris Cyborg, like the only person who gives her a real fight right now is Valentina Shevchenko at 135. If I want to, I would very much love to see that fight again because I think they've both gotten better. Amanda has beat her twice. I thought Valentina won the second fight just with her counter punching. That's just me. I didn't hate that they gave it to Amanda Nunes either way. That's just my personal opinion. But that's the only real fight I can really see for her is the Valentina trying to go up and get the 135-pound again. She's already the 125-pound champion. But I think Megan Anderson is a great fighter. I love Megan Anderson. I love her coming out and talking about mental health. I love her just online persona doing the TikToks and the Twitch streams and the she's an awesome fighter. She's an awesome person. And she's tall as all hell, which I think will give different problems to Amanda. But Amanda Nunes is the greatest female fighter to ever do it.
Ever.
She's the only person that the UFC literally lets her just keep both the belts.
She's the GOAT. Like, would you
Yeah,
actually say
no,
number one?
100%. It's not even like
Is
close.
this the kind of fight that you're gonna watch thinking like maybe it'll be a really good fight, or is this the kind of fight you watch because it's like you're witnessing greatness?
I think this one has the capability of being a great fight more than a lot of the other fights she's had at 145. Because she fucking slept Cyborg. She handled Felicia Spencer, just beat her up. I think Megan is a great fighter on a great trajectory and could be a world champion someday. I just think she's not quite seasoned enough.
So what would she have to do? Like, what would have to go right for her to pull off this massive upset?
Just really use the length that she has. She's like 6'1", 6'2".
Damn.
She's a tall girl. She's
Damn.
very tall. Her legs might be longer than mine. Like, she's just, her arms are very long. She's a long, lanky girl. And if she can keep it at range, keep Amanda outside, and not let Amanda just put her head in her chest and just keep it moving, you know what I mean? If she can work the range, she could give Amanda a lot of problems because the differences there are huge, massive.
Is Nunez, is she the current champion of featherweight right now?
Yeah, she's current bantamweight and featherweight.
Okay.
So it could be a better fight than people are making it out to be, but it's Amanda Nunes. She's winning this fight. It's not like.
Do you have a prediction of like round, submission, knockout? I don't even know what's going on.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna say second round TKO, head kick.
I definitely not head kick. She'd literally have to
write it down.
She'd literally have to like detach her leg to make it to Megan Anderson's head. Like Megan Anderson, it's literally like height-wise, like you fighting me. Like I'm not trying to be a dick, but it just is what it is. You're not kicking me in the head.
Maybe
Eric.
she's working out with Myles Garrett and she could jump. I don't know. Put it in the books. Second round TKO, flying knee.
I can't pick that fight just because I'm such a Megan Anderson fan. I do not want to even
all right, we'll just
think
skip
of her getting starched like that, even though I'm probably going to have to watch it on Saturday. And then the main event of the evening, Israel Adesanya going up to 205 to try to become another champ. Only 4 people in the UFC have done it, and I really think he's going to. The things that scare me, he's a bigger dude than people give him credit for because he's a skinny guy, but he's tall.
He's a freak, like athletically.
Yeah. The thing that worries me is he's not putting on any weight for this fight. He's just not cutting. And Jan is a big 205er.
So who's he fighting against?
Jan Blachowicz. He's the current 205-pound champion. He won the vacant title against Dominic Reyes after John Jones vacated the title because he's moving up to heavyweight now. He looks fucking huge at the moment.
He's probably training with his brother and JJ.
For real. Like he's looking like he's looking to stick at his brother right now.
He's looking like a linebacker.
Yeah. I did it. I said this in my picks video. Jan, every time I think he's gonna lose, he proves me wrong. Every time I'm like convinced, like because he has a real herky-jerky style. He kind of looks stuck in the mud a little bit at times because he's not that like
light on his feet.
Yeah, he's not that guy. It's very much like that. The herky-jerky kind of stuck, but just great. Still great punching, like still great striking ability, just not as fluid against the fluid lateral movement, in and out, kickboxer. Because Izzy's only been around for the last few years in MMA, but he has something like, I think it's like 92 fights in kickboxing, professional kickboxing. He's fought at heavyweight in kickboxing before. Like, he was a monster there. He's one of the best strikers I've ever seen for MMA. And I just really think that Jan's not going to be able to handle the variety of strikes coming his way, or the speed, or the pace. But every time I say that, he proves me wrong. Thought he was going to lose the Dominic Reyes fight. He's champ now. Like, I did not expect that to happen. And he hits fucking hard. Hard. But Izzy's good defensively, so I really do think Izzy takes it. But I think that's going to be a fun fight. And this is a great card. If you're going to buy one fight this year, buy this one.
This is the one for the fans.
Yeah. Like, even the prelims. Like, Dominic Cruz is on the prelims. You haven't seen that in probably 4 or 5 years?
Is he going to be... All right, so if you had to pick one fight for the casual fan that's just going to be all-out war, slugfest type fight, is there one on this card that's like that?
I'd say off the top of my head, because I can't remember all the prelims right now, off the top of my head, if there's going to be one, it's probably going to be the Blachowicz-Izzy fight. Blachowicz, I mean. Israel Adesanya fight, the main event. It has the potential to be that, but Izzy's also not dumb. Like you saw in the Yoel Romero fight. Yoel Romero is a scary motherfucker. He's a strong guy. He can wrestle his ass off. So Izzy didn't take chances. So it wasn't very fun to watch. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like Mayweather.
It's like Tyron Woodley used to get flack for it when he was the 170-pound champ. It's not always pretty. It's not always exciting. It's not always this or that. But he's not going to make bad decisions to try to entertain you.
He's going to make the smart decisions to win.
He's going to try to be the champion. That's all he cares about. If he can make it cool for you and he can make it flashy and he can get the big knockout, cool, great day. But he's not gonna walk into a mistake just to make the fans happy, which I think is the right way to do it. Like, people are giving Cyril Gahn all this flack from last week. What else could he do? Rosenstruik was just sitting there not engaging, and he's not gonna rush in on him and let Rosenstruik, who's a superpower puncher, take that big shot.
Right.
It was not fun to watch. I'm not saying it was the most exciting fight, but you know what? He came out with the win. He's only been competing in MMA for 2.5 years. This was his 8th or 9th fight ever. And he won a UFC main event against one of the top heavyweights in the world.
Gotta respect that.
It doesn't need to be fun for you.
It needs to be fun for us.
You want it to be, and a lot of times it is, but when you get to that level, one loss can take you out of a title shot. One win can put you in one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta win the fight.
You play to win the game.
There you go. That's
Bringing it
my
all
big
back.
breakdown for you. Like I said, by the time this is out, my picks will probably be out on our social media. I get a little more into things. Just my real thoughts on the whole main card. Check that out on Twitter, Basement Boys Pod, Instagram, Basement Boys Pod.
All the social medias. Feel free to send us a text or a video or leave us a voicemail with something you want us to talk about on the show. I think the last thing I just want to throw it out there before we wrap it up. It is March. That does mean March Madness is happening. So, again, on social media, we'll be putting it out there. We're going to do a March Madness bracket tournament. We'll probably put it on ESPN just for convenience sake. And we'll have some prize money. The winner can get some merch. Let's have ourselves a March Madness tournament.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun.
This one scares me a little bit because I've never done March Madness. Like, everyone always does it. No.
Dude, you could literally flip a coin and who knows?
Yeah.
I know.
Honestly, half my picks are just like this team.
Virginia lost to a 16 seed, and then the next year they won the championship. Who knows?
No, I'm still down to do it. I'm just saying, like, this is gonna be a learning experience for your
like
pal
the best,
Chris.
This is like the best year to do it too, because like Duke's not good, North
Kentucky
Carolina's not
sucks.
good, Kentucky's not good,
But
Syracuse
see, that's
like
the thing. I feel like that's the worst year to do it because you at least have, like, Duke and Kentucky. Like, you can pick those, you know what I mean? And just, like, bring them to the championship game and then
that's
kind of
true.
flip a coin there. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like a free-for-all.
Yeah.
You can just pick a random team, and who knows?
So we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens.
But we'll get that going soon.
So, yeah, that'll be fun. But all in all, I think that's it for today, boys. So I am Chris Gray, E-Money Eric Mincer, D-Money Devin Mitchell. See ya.
Uses.
Stay positive and test negative.
Welcome to the basement.